My wife Amanda came home on a Friday afternoon with the biggest smile I'd seen on her face in months. "I have news," she said, practically glowing. I looked up from my laptop. I was working from home, finishing up quarterly reports for my software company. "Good news, I hope." "The best. I quit my job today." I set my laptop aside. "You what?" "I quit. I gave my 2 weeks notice." "Well, technically I told them today was my last day. I'm done with that place." Amanda had been working as a marketing director at a mid-sized firm for 6 years. Made about $70,000 a year. Good benefits, decent hours. "Why? What happened?" "I've been miserable there for so long. You know that. And I realized life's too short to be unhappy. I want to focus on myself for a while. Maybe travel, take some classes, figure out what I really want to do." "Amanda, we need to talk about this. Your income covers your car payment, your credit cards, your personal expenses." I know. But you make enough for both of us, right? Your company did really well last year." My company had done well. I'd sold a major contract, and my income had jumped to about $300,000 annually. But that didn't mean I want to subsidize Amanda's extended vacation. "We should have discussed this before you quit." "Why? You're my husband. What's yours is mine, right?" Something in her tone bothered me. That entitled edge. Like my money was automatically hers to spend. "How long are you planning to take off?" "I don't know. A few months? Maybe a year? I'll figure it out." "A year? Don't be like this, Stephen. I've supported your career. Now you can support me while I find myself." She went upstairs before I could respond. I sat there with a bad feeling in my gut. Amanda had been distant for months. Late nights at the office. Weekend team building events. Her phone constantly buzzing with messages she'd hide. I'd ignored it because I didn't want to believe what it meant. But her quitting out of nowhere. To find herself. I opened my laptop and checked her credit card accounts. We had separate cards, but I could see all activity through our banking portal. Her card showed charges I didn't recognize. Hotels. Restaurants. A jewelry purchase for $1,500 I'd never seen her wear. Going back 3 months, she'd spent over $20,000 on her credit cards. All charges I've been automatically paying off every month without really looking. I started taking screenshots. Then I checked our bank statements. Large cash withdrawals. $500 here, $1,000 there. Over $15,000 in cash pulled out over the past 3 months. I documented everything. Then I called my attorney, Richard Blake. "Richard, I need advice. My wife just quit her job without telling me. I think she's having an affair. And she's been spending a lot of money." "How much money?" "Over $35,000 in 3 months. Credit cards, cash withdrawals, charges at hotels and restaurants." "Stephen, you need to protect yourself. If she's planning to leave you, she's going to try to take as much as possible first." "What do I do?" "First, stop paying her credit cards. They're in her name, not yours. You're not legally obligated. Second, separate your bank accounts. Move your income to an account she can't access. Third, document everything. And fourth, consider filing for divorce before she does." "That seems extreme." "Is it? She quit her job without consulting you. She's spending money like it's going out of style. And you suspect an affair. What are you waiting for?" He was right. Do it. All of it. That afternoon, I opened a new checking account at a different bank. Transfer my business income there. Change my direct deposit. Then I called the credit card companies. "I need to remove myself as an authorized payer on my wife's account. The card is in her name. I'm just the one who's been paying it. I can help you with that, Mr. Harrison. You'll no longer receive bills, and you won't be responsible for charges." I did that for all 3 of her credit cards. Total balance, $42,000. Now they were a problem. Then I checked her joint account. Left enough to cover the mortgage and utilities for the month. Moved everything else to my new account. I documented all of it. Screenshots, bank confirmations, everything. That evening, Amanda came downstairs dressed up. Heels, makeup, the works. "I'm going out with some friends." "Don't wait up." "Which friends?" "Just some people from work." "Well, former work. We're celebrating my freedom." "Have fun." She left. I heard her car pull out of the driveway. I pulled up our phone records online. Found the number she texted most frequently. Over 3,000 messages in the past 3 months. I ran the number through a reverse lookup. Came back to a Marcus Webb. Age 34. Sales manager at a tech company. I searched him on social media. Found his profile. Relationship status. Single. Photos of him at restaurants I recognized from our credit card statements. Same restaurants, same dates. I screenshot everything. At midnight, I checked our car's GPS tracking. Amanda had installed it for safety, she said, in case the car was stolen. The car was at the Riverside Hotel. Had been there since 8 p.m. I drove there. Found her car in the parking lot. Took photos with timestamp and location data. Went to the front desk. I'm looking for my wife, Amanda Harrison. I think she might be a guest here. The clerk looked uncomfortable. Sir, I can't give out guest information. I understand. Thank you anyway. I didn't need confirmation. I had enough. I went home and started packing Amanda's things. Clothes, shoes, toiletries. Everything that was clearly hers. Put all in suitcases and boxes. Stacked them in the garage. At 3 a.m., Amanda came home. I was still awake, sitting in the living room. Why are you up? She asked. Couldn't sleep. How was your celebration? Fine. I'm exhausted. Going to bed. She went upstairs without kissing me goodnight. The next morning, I was at Richard's office at 8 a.m. I want to file for divorce. Today. Tell me everything. I showed him the evidence. The credit card statements. The hotel charges. The phone records. The GPS data. The photos from last night. This is solid. She's clearly having an affair. In this state, adultery affects asset division. You'll keep most of your separate property, and she won't get alimony. File the papers. He did. By noon, I'd signed divorce papers. She'll be served Monday at your home address. Be prepared for her reaction. I'm prepared. That weekend was surreal. Amanda acted like everything was normal. Talked about her plans to redecorate the house. Mentioned a trip to Europe she wanted to take. All with my money, presumably. I played along. Smiled and nodded. On Sunday evening, I checked the credit card accounts. Amanda had tried to use all 3 cards that day. All declined. She tried to withdraw cash from the ATM. Declined. She tried to access our joint account online. She could see it, but couldn't transfer money out. I'd changed the permissions. Her phone buzzed constantly Sunday night. She kept checking it and frowning. Monday morning, the process server arrived at 9 a.m. I'd gone to the office early. Didn't want to be there for the explosion. My phone rang at 9:47. Amanda, what the hell did you do? I filed for divorce. You should have been served by now. You can't do this. I already did. My attorney will be in touch with yours. Stephen, wait. We need to talk about this. We can talk through lawyers. Also, I removed myself as payer on your credit cards. They're your responsibility now. The joint account only has enough for house expenses. My income goes to a separate account. You can't cut me off. I just did. You quit your job to find yourself. Now you can find yourself a way to pay your own bills. I have $42,000 on those cards. You spent $42,000 in 3 months on hotels and restaurants with Marcus Webb. You can explain that to your attorney. Silence. How did you? I'm not stupid, Amanda. I know about the affair. I have evidence. Credit card statements, GPS data, phone records. All of it. Stephen, please. Let me explain. There's nothing to explain. You want a freedom. You have it. You're free to be with Marcus. You're free to pay your own bills. You're free to find a new place to live. Your things are packed in the garage. You're kicking me out. The house is in my name. I bought it before we married. You can stay through the end of the month, but then you need to find somewhere else. I have no money. You took everything. I took my money. Your credit card debt is yours. The car in your name is yours. Everything else, the lawyers will divide. You bastard. I'm the bastard. You quit your job to spend more time with your boyfriend, using my money to finance your affair, and I'm the bastard. She hung up. 10 minutes later, my phone rang again. Different number. Stephen Harrison? Yes. This is Marcus Webb. I think we need to talk. About what? About Amanda. And this misunderstanding. There's no misunderstanding. My wife is having an affair with you. I have evidence. I've filed for divorce. What's there to talk about? Amanda said you cut her off financially. That's not fair. She needs support. I almost laughed. Then you support her. You're the one she quit her job to spend time with. That's not my responsibility. It's not mine either. Not anymore. She made her choice. Look, man, this is between you and Amanda. Leave me out of it. You involved yourself when you started sleeping with my wife. Now deal with the consequences. I hung up. Over the next week, Amanda tried everything. She showed up at my office. Security escorted her out. She sent me long emails about how she'd made a mistake, how Marcus meant nothing, how we could work through this. I forwarded them to Richard without responding. She tried to access our joint account. Couldn't withdraw anything because I'd set it up so both signatures were required for withdrawals over $100. She tried to use the credit cards. All declined. Her car payment bounced. The finance company called her. She called me crying. "Steven, they're going to repossess my car. Pay your bill. I don't have any money. Get a job. I just quit. No one's going to hire me immediately." That's not my problem. You quit without a plan. You were going to spend a year finding yourself with my money. Now you need to find yourself a job. Please, I'm begging you. Just pay the car payment this month. Give me time to figure things out. No. I hung up. 2 days later, her car was repossessed from a restaurant parking lot. I heard about it from a mutual friend who saw it happen. Amanda called me from Marcus's phone. They took my car. I have nothing. You have Marcus. Get him to drive you. He's not my boyfriend. We're just friends. Friends who spend nights at hotels together. Friends who text 3,000 times in 3 months. Try again. Fine. Yes, we were seeing each other. But it's over. He broke up with me when he found out I had no money. So he was with you for my money too. Seems like a pattern. Steven, please. I'm sorry. I made a terrible mistake. Can we please just talk? Through lawyers. The divorce proceedings moved fast. Amanda couldn't afford an attorney. She tried to get a public defender, but was told they only handle criminal cases. She represented herself. Richard presented all the evidence. The affair, the spending, her quitting her job specifically to be with her lover. Amanda tried to argue she deserved alimony because she'd supported my career early on. Richard pulled out her tax returns. For the first 3 years of our marriage, I'd made more than her. She'd never supported me financially. She tried to claim she deserved half the house. Richard showed the deed. I bought it 2 years before we married. It was separate property. She tried to claim she deserved half my business. Richard showed incorporation documents. I'd started the company before we met. The judge was not sympathetic. "Mrs. Harrison, you quit your job without consulting your husband. You spent over $40,000 of marital funds on an extramarital affair. You're asking for alimony despite being perfectly capable of working. I'm not inclined to grant any of your requests. Your Honor, I have nothing. No job, no car, no money. You had a job. You quit. You had a car. You failed to make payments. You had access to money. You spent on your affair. These are consequences of your choices, not your husband's obligations." The divorce was finalized. Amanda got her personal belongings, her credit card debt, and nothing else. I kept the house, my business, my retirement accounts, and paid no alimony. 3 months after the divorce, I heard through friends that Amanda had moved back in with her parents. Got a job in retail, making $13 an hour. Was slowly paying off the credit card debt. Marcus had moved on to someone else. I felt nothing hearing about it. No satisfaction, no sympathy, nothing. 6 months after the divorce, I met someone. Her name was Jennifer. She was a physical therapist with her own practice. On our 3rd date, she asked about my divorce. What happened? My ex quit her job to spend time with her boyfriend. Expected me to pay for everything while she did. I filed for divorce and cut her off financially. She was having an affair and expected you to fund it. Essentially, yes. That's bold. That's one word for it. Are you worried I'm after your money? Are you? No. I have my own money. I'm after your terrible jokes and your ability to make reservations at nice restaurants. I laughed. That's all I got to offer. Then I'll take it. We took it slow. She met my friends after 3 months. I met hers after that. A year after my divorce, Jennifer and I bought a house together. Both our names on the deed. Both contributing equally. This feels right, she said the day we closed. Partners. Actually partners. Agreed. 2 years after the divorce, I ran into Amanda at a grocery store. She looked older, tired, working the checkout line. She saw me and froze. Steven. Hi. Amanda. How are you? Good. You? I'm okay. Working. Living with my parents still. Paying down debt. I'm sorry it's been hard. Are you? I thought about it. No. Not really. You made your choices. She nodded slowly. I did. And you made yours. I did. I heard you were someone new. I am. Her name is Jennifer. We bought a house together. Something flickered across Amanda's face. That's good. You deserve to be happy. So do you. I hope you find it. I won't find it working retail at 42. You're only 42. Plenty of time to rebuild. With 40,000 in debt and no savings? I don't think so. Then you'll need to be smarter about your choices going forward. Her jaw tightened. You really cut me off without a second thought. You really quit your job to be with another man without a second thought. We both made decisions, Amanda. Mine just worked out better. You could have helped me. After the divorce, you didn't have to leave me with nothing. I left you with exactly what you earned. You wanted freedom from your job and from our marriage. I gave you both. The consequences came with them. I was your wife for 8 years. You were. And for at least 3 months of that, you were sleeping with someone else and spending my money doing it. When I found out, I stopped paying. That's fair. She looked like she wanted to say more. But the line behind me was growing. I should let you work, I said. Take care, Amanda. I paid for my groceries and left. In the parking lot, Jennifer was waiting in the car. Was that her? She asked when I got in. Yeah. How do you feel? Nothing. She made her choices. She's living with them. Do you ever wonder what would have happened if you just kept paying her bills? She'd still be spending my money on whatever affair partner came next. And I'd still be miserable. So no, I don't wonder. Good answer. 3 years after the divorce, I married Jennifer. Small ceremony at a vineyard, close friends and family. My business had grown. I'd sold another major contract, and my income had doubled. Jennifer's practice was thriving. She'd expanded to 2 locations. We were partners in every sense. Financially, emotionally, practically. You know what I love about you, she said on our wedding night. What? You're not afraid to walk away from what doesn't work. You didn't let Amanda bleed you dry. You protected yourself. That takes strength. Or self-preservation. Same thing sometimes. 5 years after the divorce, I heard that Amanda had finally paid off her credit card debt, taken her 5 years of minimum wage work, and living with her parents. She'd gotten promoted to assistant manager at the store, making $19 an hour now. I didn't feel superior hearing about it. Just grateful I wasn't still funding her poor decisions. 10 years after the divorce, Jennifer and I had 2 kids. A house in the suburbs. Successful careers. A life we'd built together. I never saw Amanda again after that day in the grocery store. Never thought about her except when someone brought her up. She'd wanted to quit her job and live off my income while seeing her boyfriend. I'd wanted a partner who contributed equally and respected our marriage. We both got what we chose. She got freedom from her job and her marriage. I got freedom from someone who saw me as an ATM. The difference was, my freedom led to happiness. Hers led to 5 years of debt and living with her parents. That wasn't revenge. That was just consequences. She quit her job thinking my money would catch her. I'd pulled the safety net the same day, and she'd fallen exactly as far as her choices deserved. Meanwhile, I'd built a life with someone who'd never dream of quitting her job to spend my money on an affair. Because Jennifer understood what Amanda never did. Partnership means both people contribute. Marriage means both people respect each other. And money is earned, not entitled. Amanda learned those lessons the hard way. I learned them in time to build something better. And that made all the difference. The woman who quit her job to be with her lover full-time ended up working retail full-time to pay off the debt from that lover. The man who stopped paying her credit cards ended up with a wife who never asked him to. Sometimes the best revenge is just letting people experience the natural consequences of their choices and getting out of the way while they do. Amanda had wanted me to fund her affair. I'd funded my future instead, and that future was pretty damn good. No regrets, no second thoughts, just gratitude that I'd had the clarity to protect myself when it mattered, and the luck to find someone who made protection unnecessary. That was the real win, not the divorce, not the money I saved, not even the fact that Amanda struggled while I thrived. The real win was building a life with someone who chose me, not my bank account, me, and that was priceless.